Hello viewers, I am Dr. Rajul Dutt. In the part 1 section of the video, I discussed about the introduction to market segmentation, the definitions, followed by the importance and the types of market segmentation. Now in this video, that is, I can call it at part 2, I am going to discuss about the basis for segmenting consumer markets. That is, this consumer market, and there is a basis for segmenting industrial market. So in this section I will discuss about basis for segmenting the consumer market, and this will be followed by part 3 in the concluding video of market segmentation, in which I will discuss about the behavioral segmentation, that is the product related segmentation, and the basis for segmenting the industrial market. Now coming back, let's start with the basis for segmenting the consumer market. There is no single way to segment a market. A marketer has to try different segmentation variables alone and in combination to find the best way to view market structure. It requires a company to gather specific information, data about customers, and analyze it to identify patterns that can be used to create segments. Common characteristics in customer segments can guide as to how a company markets to individual segments and what products or services it promotes to them. For example, if I take an example, maybe a small business selling handmade guitars might decide to promote a lower price product to younger guitarists because they may have less disposable income as compared to the senior guitarist who would buy a higher priced electronic guitar. So this is how this is one variable which comes for segmenting as far as maybe the age is concerned about the customer. Therefore, customer satisfaction begins with gathering and analyzing data and ends with acting on the information gathered in a way that is appropriate and effective. The major variables of the segmenting a consumer market, therefore, are the geographic variable, demographic variable, psychographic variable, and behavioral segmentation. Now, geographic, demographic, and psychographic, they are consumer-related segmentation, and the behavior segmentation is by and large related with the product-related various factors to study. So this I will take in my next video. So let's start with the geographic segmentation. Now, geographic segmentation, this calls for dividing the market into different geographic areas. A company may decide, for example, to operate in one or few geographical areas, maybe on the basis of, for example, liking. If I say product, I take it as randomly, it's like coffee. I'm talking about in Indian context. So coffee is being liked maybe in the one part of the country and may not be liked in the other part of the country. So the product again decides as to where to cater and to where the most of the marketing strategies to how to foot upon those. So this gives us an idea. Now, for example, if I say in South the coffee is popular, so the whole idea is to make the whole marketing strategies to focus towards South India, where this is coffee by natural, they like it. But again, if we look upon the opportunity, saying North, we can, yeah, a company can think in introducing this product and to explore the market. Now, for that, it requires, to study the customer more closely and to understand the customer more closely. Again, these three variables plays a very important role in giving us an idea and reaching to a conclusion about the consumer profile, so that if you we develop these profiles and to select, so that I can fix it, I can make my strategy market with the help of the 4 P's to enter into the market or to cater to the market where the product is existing and is enjoying its market share. So the graphic geographic, for example, we can divide the if in Indian context we are talking about in on the basis of region, that is in north, south, east, west, central. So maybe it can be only by north, south, east, west, but in certain cases where we divide the whole so that we can study more objectively as far as the because the northern Indian characteristics with the South Indian are quite different than the people in the east of India. They are quite different. People in the western India, they have got the different maybe due to the regional disparities. Now again, we can again, for example, if I say north, now in north, now to break up again, to explore the various again segments into smaller segments, it would be city size, whether it is a metro, we want to focus on metro cities, whether we want to focus on small cities, or whether into towns. Now again, there is we look upon, we again go for again a micro segment geographic segmentation is to evaluate, to understand the density of the area in terms of whether we want to cater to the urban market, to the semi-urban market, or to the rural market. Let's not forget, because the urban and semi-urban hypothetically it comprises to say maybe 25 to 30% of the total population, whereas the 70% of the Indian population still are related to rural areas. So one should keep in mind, again, rural area, this is again a very big market in terms of the density or the size of the population related to the rural areas. So the second part of it is the variable is the demographic segmentation. Now, demographic segmentation is related with the profile of the customer individually, and to uh, rate or to to come to the conclusion about the maybe the single person, one single person, or maybe the group of people under to whom we want to cater. So the demographic factors are most popular basis for segmenting customer groups. One good reason is that consumer needs and wants vary closely with demographic factors. Following are the what we call it as demographics variables, which are used for in market segmentation. Now, with the if we say, for example, the first factor is age. Now, age, consumer needs and wants changes with age, and some companies use age as the segmentation and offer different products or using products, different marketing approaches for different age groups. So clearly determines, for example, if we take about the small children, where the decision mechanism are the same, say from say up to 12, then to 13, 19, when the child is comes into the teens, he or she has got their own aspirations, their own likings, maybe about food, maybe about movies, maybe about fashion, dresses, clothes, and so on and so forth. Another important is the gender. No, the gender is whether we are talking about with the product is related to male and female both, or that is what we call it as a unisex product, or it is for male customers or the female customers. It helps us in dividing the total population, therefore, into on the basis of the gender, on the basis of the sex. So the sex segmentation has long been used in clothing, hairdressing, cosmetics, magazines, and so on and so forth. Another factor which comes into demographic is the marital status, whether the individual is married or unmarried. Because, for example, married, so the whole, let's say, the income, what a person um, is getting, the is generating income, for example, monthly the salary for that matter. So the if the married, so then the spending nature of the salary would be quite different from the person who is unmarried. The unmarried person, whether male or female, will will spend majority of the major portion of the salary he or she is getting, say, on herself or himself. Income plays a very important role. So we divide the total society into on the basis of the income the individual is earning. For example, I've taken as under 15,000, then 15,000 to 50,000, again 50,000 to 1 lakh, and 1 lakh to 2 lakhs, and so on and so forth. So if my product is, for example, is high priced, so definitely, as far as income is concerned, my segment would be the people who are into the bracket of, say, 1 lakh to 2 lakhs and above. If it is a premium product, for example, if the product is not premium, it is for it is a low quality, maybe low quality product, then I will focus on the people who are earning, say, between 15,000 to 50,000, because it depends what will be the disposable income for the consumers to buy the products, and that is where they satisfy their basic needs, and the income then remaining would be spent on the various other products. Occupation again decides upon the nature of the products the consumer will buy. Now, whether the segment is of largely of the, so we want to focus on students, whether on managers, professionals, housewives. They all have got their own way of spending and on the products they require. Professionals, for example, they focus on their clothes, on the attires, on the accessories to carry. For example, maybe a office bag, maybe good shoes, a tie, cufflinks, so on and so forth. Again, education is, we divide the whole total population on the basis of the in education they have attained. For example, whether they have done high school, intermediate, graduate, postgraduate, technical people. So all it helps us in segmenting the group. Again, in India, as I said earlier, also in my earlier previous video, that the religion is in India, we can divide the total population into, on the basis of the religion, that is Hindu, Muslims, Sikhs, Christians, and others. So it plays a very important role. For example, if it decides, sometimes it becomes very difficult in consumer behavior. I'll be with these aspects more into it. But for example, if we say, if anything which has green color, so most of the Muslims they go for it, and so on and so forth. So as far as color is concerned, as far as language is concerned, as far as their uh, lifestyle is concerned, it is more related with the religion as well. And religion again plays a very important role. One has to take care while for making advertisements, for example. So one has to take great care so that the emotions of the other religious groups should not be should not be hurted in any manner, so it becomes very evident and important for a marketing manager, therefore, to look into these aspects. Nonetheless, it decides upon as to, for example, if my product, hypothetically, my product is, say, on meat, I supply meat, but say, so I will cater mostly the Muslims, Sikhs, and Christians, whereas Hindu they won't prefer it. So this will help me in segmenting as the on the basis of the religion. Now, family life cycle. This is again very interesting to discuss. This. So young and single, when the person is young and single, so whatever he is earning, so the person will spend on himself or herself. Then the for example, this boy gets married, so young and married. Now this man who was spending most of his income on himself. Now this income will be, and the purchasing was related to maybe shirts and trousers and shoes and sports goods and uh, products like shaving creams and all. Now he gets married, so the income more or less we take it as remains the same. So the buying again goes on sarees, suits, sandals, cosmetics, and all. So with the only with the change of, say, the person gets married, the buying automatically changes. A great change, a great shift in the requirement for the product. It changes. Uh, then again, if you move a little more forward, young married plus one child. So again, the earlier they were spending on shirts and sarees and suits and sandals and whatnot. Now with the when the child comes into this family, the most of the income they spend on, not on the goods or the products they were using earlier or they were buying earlier. Now it goes on the child care products, the doctors, the baby nappy, the child food, and so on and so forth. So the main focus or the buying would be related with the child. Now this married plus two children. Now the income is, in getting these children to brought up these children more. So more, the money spent on, say, schools, fees, books, their tuitions and uniforms and so on and so forth. So these kinds of, there is a major shift. So automatically with the if the when there is a change from in the life cycle only, if I take one factor, so the buying of the products, it automatically changes. Now there is an old couple. Now again, they come back when they're young and married, but the old couple is when the two children, they have they go out for their own services because they are now educated and they fly off to different places. So the couple remains alone. Now the old couples again, they will spend whatever the earnings are on, say, on medicines, on healthcare, on repair of the family gadget, household gadgets, and so forth. And again, out of these two, one leaves the planet, so one of the two remain as single. Now again, when this person is single, he his or her buying again would be more on, say, to protect himself or herself, and it will be related to, say, on health aspects and say maybe doctors, maybe on medical aspects. So this why I have extended the discussion on this, that with these changes in the combination of the in the life cycle, so the buying automatically, the requirement of the household, it changes fast. So if other factors remain even constant, though, but it changes. So it is very important for any marketing manager while segmenting, while doing fixing up as to which segment the you as an entrepreneur, you as a business person. So this plays a very important. It is very important to study and understand the dynamics of this family life cycle. The third is the psychographic segmentation. It is all related with more or less with the psychology of the people, and not the pressure, but here the person becomes a little more, say, choosy. For example, if I say these factors remains, like in psychographic segmentation, buyers are divided into different groups, like based on social class, lifestyle, personality characteristics. Now, the people in the same demographics group can have different psychographics makeups. Now, if we don't look upon it, and we look upon, say, for example, lifestyle. Now, the person, maybe in any group, for example, in any income group, he or she is conservative, or whether the person is liberal, whether the person is status seeker. There are people who buy products just to maintain their status in the society, to to look upon to a particular group. That is what we call it as a reference group, not because they like it, but because they want to refer to a, for example, if I say it's a sports person, so the person who is sports lover, his her buying would be more on buying the products related with sports, the sports shoes, the track suits, and other things like related with the sports events. So this is where this is the person who wants to live a life in a different manner, whether the person is health and fitness conscious, whether adventuresome. So the 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 person chooses the lifestyle, and with the chosen lifestyle, the buying changes automatically. Now, social class. This again plays a very important role. The social class is based, the segmentation is done on the basis of the economic condition of the people. For example, a lower class, a middle class, and a rich class, for example, an upper class. So, looking upon as to what why the product has to, for whom the product has been made, as far as, for example, if I talk about price, if the price of the product is high, premium, for example. So for if you take for example cars, the cars are, there is a base model, there is a average model, and then there is a premium model. So the car remains the same, the company remains the same, but they give certain benefits, and we move upwards, and they add additional features into the car, and therefore they makes the distinction on the prices, and divide the whole society on the basis of the income earned, and so that the product it flues. For example, if it is a base price car, so all those, the middle, it is, for example, it is being focused on to the middle class, for the upper middle class. And for example, if it is a premium, so it is more focused on the rich or the upper class of the society. Now, personality, for example, the personality is a person, maybe, uh, introvert, extrovert, on the basis of the so marketers have also used personality variable to segment the market. Uh, Many successful market segmentation strategies based on personality have been used for such products. So, because if the person is outgoing, is an extrovert, so it is very, it becomes easy for to fit in, because as a customer, he or she explains to the researcher, or to the marketing, or to the salesperson as to what he or she requires. But an introvert person, it is very difficult. The lot of effort has to be made by the salespeople of a company. Now, this completes with the customer-related segmentation, that is the areas which is largely related with the people. Now, in the next segment, in the next part of the video, I'll discuss about the behavioral segment. Though it is all one, when we talk about basis for segmenting consumer market, the four major variables are the geographical variable, the demographic variable, the psychographic variable, and the behavioral level. But to understand, and to understand clearly about these factors are related to the consumer, whereas now the behavioral aspect, they are related with the products, and I will discuss it in the next video. Thank you so much.